Hey guys, welcome to Gorp. Gorp is the name of the show. New song, same flavor. Today we're going to talk about some nature, and here in Gorp, because it's Nature Day, we're going to the acronym would be go outside regularly, please. Thanks. My name is Josh. Who else? Who's here? What's going on?
I'm Jess. Hi, I'm Brooke.
What's up, Fry?
What's up, Fry?
I don't know. How are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. The receptacle today is it's an umbrella because of nature themed. We're good at that. Here's what we got in there. I'm gonna shake them on up.
Let's go, Mary Joshins.
Okay, Mary. Oh, because of I get
Mary
it.
Poppins, y'all.
Okay. We're gonna start with this one. It's called Cabin Condo Bungalow Boat. So the reason it's called that is they're all domiciles. And
sounds like a Bob Marley song.
Sounds like F. Marry Kill.
Cabin Condo
I can take you in the cabin Congo bungalow.
So yeah, the idea is like if you had a dream home, what kind would it be? Where would it be? Like I would probably like to live in a treehouse in a rainy forest. That'd be pretty cool.
Treehouse in a rainy forest?
Yeah, like a Robin Hood type of treehouse where there's like rope bridges and stuff. That'd be sweet.
Like the one in Hook?
Like in Hook. I want to live in Neverland.
That would be pretty sweet. Yeah, it would. I would be like Tarzan. I think I want an A-frame in the middle of a forest on a mountain.
With a little stream, maybe?
Yeah.
Stream?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mine's very similar. It's really kind of the same thing, except I would like a cliff on the property with just a little babbling brook of a waterfall. So same thing with
you get two?
Cliff. No, I mean, yeah, I can have as many as I want. This is a dream.
My fantasy.
No.
Okay. All right. I feel like Josh is going to do that to everybody now. Like he's that kid that's like a new kid grabs a new toy out of the toy box and he walks up and he's like, mine.
No, that's, yeah, I was just about to grab that, bro. I mean,
no. This was mine too.
Sorry, I thought of it first.
Yeah, she's got the A-frame, Josh. You're Captain Treehouse from Hook in Neverland.
Why can't I be both?
Okay, fine. Apparently, he's Jeff Bezos, the guy living in the forest. He's got two houses.
Yeah. Monopolizing everyone's dream houses.
No. Like Italian Job.
You're right.
Jessica, what's your house?
I'm stupid in that, too.
I would do, because one, I really dislike outdoors 98% of the time. Like, that's... I am a homebody. I don't like snow. I don't like grass tickling my butt cheeks when I'm trying to go potty. Like, I don't like any of that. So I would like a little house, like a couple of miles away from a lake because lakes tend to flood and I don't want to deal with that bullshit. So I'd like to be close enough so I could go like on the lake, but like far enough away where I don't have to deal with those inconveniences.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good. We got a lake near us, so that's also part. No, I'm just kidding. But I know a guy that lives on the lake, and he says, "Yeah, everyone wants to live on the lake until they live on the lake. Like you want to be a little further away because it stinks too some days."
What about you, Frank?
I would love, to be in nature. I love nature. Far enough away from humans to where I can visit them when I need to, but they won't come see me. I'd probably say the house would be something that I can hook a generator up to, get power to, because I still want to live in with my modern cool things.
Of course.
Modern, what's the word I'm looking for? Comforts.
Conveniences.
Wrestling conveniences.
Yeah, modern comforts, modern conveniences. But I'd like to have a house cut into the side of a mountain or a hill, so as not to obstruct the natural landscape. Like the windows and everything
tear it apart
built
instead.
into in the mountain.
Yeah,
It's built into the mountain.
Real
it's
right
inside.
into.
What do you think a cave is, Jessica? You think nature's hey, you know what? I'm gonna just take it.
Or like a hobbit hole too. Hobbit hole. Same
I'm just gonna build a little hole into a mountain, but it's gonna be it's not gonna upset the natural landscape. Like there might be a tree growing out of my ceiling. Like, you don't know yet.
Yeah, tree ceiling.
I'm gonna
I
have
was
to
about
really
to say
deal
I
with that
wanted a
root.
tree ceiling.
Have you heard of earth ships, Fry?
Yeah.
Earth ships? No.
Earth ships. So it's like a sustainable housing structure where it's like ran off of solar, and it's like a the climate is controlled by basically the sun and all that jazz. But usually they build them sometimes into like hills where the living premises is like cooled by the earth.
Mm,
So
the earth.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
Indians.
Yeah.
That's Eastern Indian science. The what is it? What do they call it? The Sultan, I think. He used to have like I can't remember which century it was, but they said like we think this is the dawn of air conditioning because he put two cold water pools on each side of the big room, and the wind would blow off the mountainside and hit the basically the cooling pool
it's a
and
swamp cooler. Yeah.
the air conditioning.
That's cool.
Swamp cooler.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think that'd be dope. No, but you just reminded me of Biodome, Brooke. I had never heard of that, but I immediately the first thought that went to my head was Biodome.
Bow down.
What's up,
Biodome.
squirrely?
I love
I watched that movie too many times. Too many times to be legal.
Making a filter, making a filter.
Buddy.
All right, shall we? Mm-hmm. Okay. This is activities. So let's start with Jess, since you hate being outside. What is anything you like to do outside?
Kayaking. I love kayaking.
Nice. Okay.
It's fun. Love it. I could also do outdoor volleyball. But as
outdoor
we've
volleyball,
discussed in other episodes, I have the knees of a baby giraffe. So hiking is not good for me. I have talked about being like a bull in a china shop, so I'm not quiet, so I can't hunt. I can fish. And what I plan to do this summer is like get my kayak and have a fishing kayak, and I can go fishing while I'm in my kayak and just, that sounds like a great day.
That's cool. That sounds awesome.
All
man.
right.
Yeah, it does.
I've only kayaked once, and Fry was there, but he was too scared to go kayaking, so everyone did but him. I just made that up. He just didn't go.
Yeah, I just didn't go.
Pretty textbook guy who thinks he's a Boy Scout but has no actual skills. Like I can't really harvest meats from animals. You know what I mean?
Josh, make me a fire. Do you have like a lighter?
Give me 15 to 45 minutes, and I'll get you a fire going.
15:45 into Birchwood.
Maybe 3 days. I'll figure it out.
Hey, that's how
What
we
else?
get on Survivor is 3 days to figure out how to make a fire.
Yeah.
Before they're
What else,
giving it.
Josh? You said you like to hike and you think you can do stuff, but like, what activities do you? Is that it?
Like the guy who thinks he's the master camper boy, but like you run out of sausages and you're like, what do we do now? You know what I mean? That's kind of me. I'm not the guy who's going to go fishing and find meat and survive for weeks out there in the jungle or whatever. One of my favorite activities, though, now that we're talking about that, is at night we used to go to Seven Falls, which is a big, giant mountainside with all kind of waterfalls in Colorado. And we'd go there on full moons at night, obviously, and climb up the side of it, just hiking up the side of it and find caves and just hang out and smoke joints. But it was pretty cool because you're just sitting on the side of a giant mountain that you can just walk up. And anyway, I was a stoner back then, so I did a lot of night hikes.
Sounds awesome.
Why do you have to be a stoner to do night hike?
I do.
Because it's dangerous. There's mountain lions up there.
Yeah.
Only an idiot would go up there at night.
Yeah, true. Activities. I'm going to go with, have you guys ever been to a hot springs?
I always wanted to.
Yeah.
I did too. I've had an opportunity a couple times and I never just take it.
Oh my God, you got to go. It's magic. It's seriously
Minerals.
like the earth is just like healing you type thing.
Yeah,
It's beautiful. So like
So
hiking to a hot spring would be pretty cool.
Yeah, here they have like, I think it's called the hot pots. It might be something else, but they have like bathtubs like built into where like the springs come up. So like you can like sit next to your friends in the spring, but like not like share the space.
So you can still pee freely?
Yeah. Aw. Well, I mean,
There was
Piano
when I was teaching in Alaska in Fairbanks at Fort Wainwright, it was recommended me to go to the hot springs that were up there in Alaska, and one of the ladies was like, "Oh, but you got to be careful during the aurora borealis because the local tribes think it's good luck to conceive a child. So underneath the lights." So you're probably going to see like a bunch of people just pounding it out if you go up there right now. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like I'm comfortable with that. She's like, well, as long as you're fine with that, then like you should check it out. It's definitely really cool. And then I ended up just not going. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't want to interrupt somebody making little Charlie. So
Probably
What if I get a boner?
what if I get a boner? There's a funny story, and I think I don't know if it's like an actor we all know. I think it's like Kevin Costner, I want to say, but he had a sex scene with somebody, and he said he met with her in her trailer before the sex scene. And he goes, "Look, I just want to say before we shoot, I apologize if I get a boner, but also I apologize if I don't get a boner." Cover all your bases.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm not a man.
What is it? The old joke.
Yeah.
Oh, thought of it again.
Probably you got any other kind of activities you like? You a spelunker? What's that?
I'm a big hiker. I laugh at a lot of people
Hikes,
that are like, I'm a great hiker, because I'm like, I don't know. I go out with these people and they're usually like not great hikers. They're like, they're glory hikers. They want to go for like something glorious, like really quick, get their instant. And I'm like, no, like let's literally go on like a 7-hour hike somewhere up hills.
Yeah.
Through the mountains, through the woods to grandmother's house
boy.
we go, all that stuff. So I used to go get lost for like 3 hours, 4 hours, almost every day in California. When I hated one of the jobs I had, I would always say I'm on my lunch break, and I'd leave at 11, and I'd be out there until 2, because I figured I could just say I was on my lunch break from 11 to noon, or noon to 1, or 1 to 2, but I would just go get lost in the mountains and go for like 11 miles, jog some of it, take the shirt off, get a sexy tan going on out there.
Oh yeah, pop them nips out, bud.
Yeah, I love hiking. I don't mind kayaking or paddleboarding. That stuff's cool or whatever, but I like to be on my feet. I did worry about mountain lions like one time, and that was when, like Jessica alluded to, there are mountain lions out there. The video in Utah, right? After that video shot, I had actually been reading articles that in Agora Hills, which is where I lived, there was spottings of mountain lions, and I used to jog with headphones in. So I was always worried, because I don't know if you guys know this, you're never supposed to turn your back and run, because they see you as prey. Like that's how they hunt, is they immediately think, oh, you're prey, as opposed to their prey doesn't stand up and be like, face me, you lion.
Yeah.
Right. So you're supposed to like stand up to them and make yourself big. And I was always like trying to I turn back, look over your shoulder type stuff every single time. But yeah, hiking's my jam. I love outdoor sports too. Like when we were playing ping pong, Josh, or horseshoes or whatever, I was having a really good time doing that stuff.
Dude, love that. I could do that stuff all day, playing horseshoes and
ultimate
frisbee. Ultimate
frisbee's good.
Wait,
Or
Josh, do you remember that volleyball tournament we went to?
Oh yes, Brooke took us both to a volleyball tournament. So
Josh,
you were part of that league, right?
It was like a group of leagues. Nope. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to see Brooke one time. She took me to this volleyball tournament. I'm like, cool, volleyball's great. Sounds awesome. And it was a lot of fun. There was like over 100 people there. There was a big lottery to see who's on whose team. It was really well set up. There was like 7 courts, sand volleyball. That was a 12-hour endeavor. Like I played 10 games of volleyball or more. I don't know. And after I don't know,
was
5
it in the
o'clock,
sand?
I was destroyed. Yeah, it was like 7 or 8 sand pits.
Like dirt, yeah.
But I wasn't prepared for that level of exhaustion. Like I had maybe a bruised rib. My lungs were shot. Every single muscle, because I've never played volleyball that long.
I don't know, Josh. We used to play a long time at the dorms. I was going to say Brooke would have fit right in at the dorms.
That was like 10 years later or something.
And then we'd play sand football as well. And I also saw Josh quit playing sand football forever on his second time ever. Sorry, Jessica, go ahead.
Did you guys ever do the mud volleyball in Albuquerque?
No.
Ooh, that is just like Josh was saying, it's just exhausting. But you're in mud, not sand.
Yeah.
So
Slippy,
not only are you sinking, you're sliding and
squishing.
Ooh, it's hard.
But
a good alternative, a spike ball. Have you played spike ball?
No.
I love it. So it's like a net.
Is that little net?
Yeah, it's the net with a ball about this big, and it's has the same rules as volleyball, but you have to just play it around the net instead.
Yeah. Oh,
it's really fun. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
you
a
try
lot
to
of
like
fun.
hit the team out of position, right? Like you try to like
Yeah.
catch the other
Oh,
team out of
okay.
position, so
Yeah.
you hit it to a certain spot on the net, and it'll bounce up, and they have to race to it and knock it up and get it back to the net.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can get your points. That one's pretty fun.
Gotta get those points, y'all. All right, let's move on, guys. We're on
Also
tight
not
shit
good on the
schedule.
knees.
Well, yeah, every muscle in my body was immobile the next day. I was having a really hard time.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It was a lot of fun, though. I don't regret it. Nature has animals. Let's go animal style. Maybe a sighting of something cool. What was the biggest animal you saw? Or the most dangerous? You ever
Animal
kiss a
style.
bear? It's weird. Saw bison one time.
So,
I've seen elk.
my husband and I lived in an RV for a little while. Did the RV thing, and I didn't know that there were wild donkeys in Arizona. I didn't know burros. Yes, I didn't know that those existed, and so we were like trying to find an RV spot to park, and there's just these piles of poop everywhere, and I'm like, "What is this? Who's making this poop?" And then we see the sign, and it's like wild burros. I never saw one. I heard them all the time. You know, their sound. I'm not going to try to impersonate that. But
I'm a donkey, Shrek.
But have you guys? Well, you've all lived in New Mexico, so you've seen a Roadrunner. I think I saw my first Roadrunner in Arizona, and I was like, I didn't think those existed. These are real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're everywhere.
Yeah. They eat
Yeah,
lizards
they're
too.
like
They'll like
pigeons.
catch lizards in their mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny how it's like that, though. My mom was the same with anvils. She thought they only existed in cartoons. I was like, no, anvils are real things. And I showed her a picture of one.
I've lifted one over my head like a man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. What were we talking about before? Animals.
Brooke.
I saw a
Brooks,
bison.
so what else did you see? Well, you were in an RV. Hold on, Bison Boy. You were in an RV, so you must have seen more than that.
Yeah. I mean, we got
What
to
was
see
the wildest encounter?
Animal wise,
Yeah.
I've seen some coyotes, but we didn't really see a whole lot of
Okay.
animal life. Scorpions.
Ugh.
Yeah, a lot of scorpions.
Scorpions. Spooky.
Yeah. I cleaned a blanket out from underneath the RV one time, and there's this scorpion, probably like this big, and on the back of the scorpion is a bunch of little baby scorpions. It's like I don't know what was happening. Maybe it was
Burned
the
down.
mom. It was getting eaten.
No, they carry their
Oh.
babies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
no.
Ugh,
Yeah, you gotta
stop.
burn it
Enough.
down.
Ugh.
All right, Bison Boy, your turn. You saw a bison.
Oh, that was the end of that story. I saw a bison. Anyway,
that was it. I just wanted to tell you guys I saw a bison one time.
I saw a deer. Big time on the. I don't want to get more into bugs, but greenhouses are full of them. So I'm really. What little fear I had of spiders is gone now. They're buddies. I've been like face to face with black widows, and like they don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
Those things are on site. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Well, yeah, but at the greenhouse they were like business partners. Like we needed them because we needed.
Yeah, they
we had
take care of all
bugs.
the insects, right?
They like your
Yeah.
protection, eh?
Yay! And there's like the big wolf spiders and the little cute ones that you might see on a Pixar. They just hang out on leaves. They're almost like ladybugs. So that's pretty cool. Snakes, not really a big fan of. What about skunks? You ever seen a skunk in the wild and like
Bro.
how like they really
Yes.
do not give a fuck? Like
I don't mess with
I shot
skunks.
one with
Well,
a
they're
BB
badgers.
gun and he was like, whatever.
I've seen
Yeah,
a
Oh,
badger,
the badger
too.
family.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
badger family. They feel like they will mess you up if you do get
Yeah.
close enough. So
He's like, better not. Don't do it, man.
Yeah.
So like they
I'll
they
spray
strut.
you and then I'll whoop your ass.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brooke, what were you saying?
Skunk. Oh, I've seen a badger in the wild.
Okay.
What's up, badger?
That's that Wisconsin life, right?
No, that was actually in Arizona, Flagstaff.
Oh, okay.
Like that's beautiful.
I love
Yeah, it
Flagstaff.
Beautiful. Yeah, I like the Southwest for nature stuff. I'm not really a big fan of getting way up north because of bears. I feel like I would just attract a bear because I probably smell like bacon or something. Just in general, there's probably some food on me. You know what I mean? It's just how I eat. I'm like a large baby. All right, let's move on.
Well, Jessica gets to go, and I feel like I get to go, Josh. I'm not sure. Yeah, like only 2 people go in this category, I guess.
But you guys, you Josh, bye.
I saw a bison.
So we go elk hunting every year. My husband, he's only killed 1 elk in the 8 years, but one time I was up at camp, and because I don't hike, I'm loud, whatever, and I'm just sitting there, and I turn and look up, and there is a mama deer with like probably a yearling and like a baby, or not deer, elk. They're elk. These things are freaking huge. And then like a little baby one. And I was like, oh, look there's the elk kidneys. Like, what? Why aren't they here? I'm pretty sure at the same camping area, there was like a mountain lion or something stalking us. Or I don't know, but we were by the river, and we like shone our flashlights across, and we just see like 2 eyes like glaring back, and the dogs are going freaking crazy. And I was like, get in the trailer. It's like, 'cause my kids were probably like 2 at the time. I was like, you're easy. Get in the trailer. And I like
doing that shoulder thing that cats do.
I couldn't see. There was no no light.
I'm gonna get you.
I saw the glare back from eyeballs, and I was like, "We're done inside." It could have been a bear. It could have been something big. Like, I had my gun, but still, I was like, "We're just get in the dang thing." No.
You get one shot with a mountain lion. You get one shot.
Well, that's
you
it.
miss, it's over.
What else? Yeah, because all the guys were out. They all were coming back from their night hunt, so we're just a bunch of women, just like women and children.
Yeah,
we were just women on the prairie.
Then I like watching birds. I love bird watching. Like, I went to a lake here in Utah, and there's just like this huge sandhill crane just like chilling in like the shallows of the water, and I was like, that's freaking cool. Like,
love cranes.
Just love it. I love cranes.
So
and there's like another spot like on the way to my son's school. It's like called Sandhill something, and I was like, why is it called that? And then one day there's like 3 or 4 cranes just like eating out of the field. I was like, well, that's nice.
That's right.
And I hit deer almost every day. So that's my
cool.
experience.
Deer?
I almost hit deer every day because they.
Oh God! I was like, how high is your insurance at this point?
Yeah, what's your score?
I haven't hit any yet. But like on the way to school, like it's very like rural, like the way we go, and there's like it's a mountainside, and the deer like to dart across that road, and it's not just one; it's like 18 of them.
All right, cool.
But yeah.
So yeah, I myself love animals. So coyotes and stuff don't bother me at all. I've jogged alongside coyotes. Coyotes don't want to mess with you. They want your little dog, like the Wicked Witch of the West, right? They're gonna get your little dog too. But I feel bad. Like, I'm not joking. I told an old man once, I was like, hey, there's a few coyotes up here in the hills right now. You should put your little dog on a leash. And then I saw that guy a couple of weeks later, and sure enough, his dog wasn't with him because the coyotes got his dog. And I try to warn people all the time, like, hey, like, you can be mad at the animal, but it's not your place. It's their place. And that animal knows one thing. Ooh, food.
Yeah,
easy
leave
food.
it alone. That's where they live.
So,
coyotes will actually like call little dogs out. They'll make like little barking noises so that your dog wants to go outside. It's really common.
Wow.
In courtside for people to have their dogs like just mauled and gone.
I always tell people, even on a leash. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying I had that fear when I lived in Colorado at the grow house. I was out there in the valley, and it's slim pickings, I'm sure, for all animals. And every once in a while, depending on the season, you hear the big-ass gang of coyotes. Which way do I go? You hear this big-ass gang of coyotes. And sometimes my dog will run off at night if I'm not paying attention. And the coyotes will scare the hell out of me because maybe they get him. I don't know. I don't know how he would do against five coyotes. I don't know.
Are you afraid of the dark?
For the consideration of the Midnight Society.
All right, so yeah, but anyway, I've moved rattlesnakes off paths before on my hikes. I just don't like to see animals get hurt, so I used to take like sticks, and they're not going to strike at you unless you're fucking really hard with them. So I'd hit the stick way behind them, so they'd slither off the trails, because that puts dog cyclists at risk when the rattlesnake is sunning itself on the trail. So I wouldn't like go up and grab it with my hand and be like, "Off of here, critter!" No, like, but I would, yeah, I'd knock it with the stick and get it to slither its way back into the grass, so it wasn't in harm's way. I actually saved a girl in Los Angeles from stepping on a baby rattlesnake. She had her headphones in, much like young ladies do in Los Angeles, and young men as well. And I had seen it on my walk to the gym, and I stopped and I looked at it. I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." I was like, "We probably should let the office know so it's not around all the apartment buildings, you know?" And as I was saying this girl comes out, hey, stop. And then she literally was about to put her foot on. I yelled, "Stop, you're going to step on a rattlesnake." And she's like, "Oh my God." And she freaked out. And like, she's like, "Thanks so much." I was like, "Yeah, crazy. What would have happened if you would have just looked at me signaling to you to stop for 10 feet as you almost walked right into death?"
Dude,
but
right,
yeah, so I've run into all kinds of animals.
Girls.
Lay rattlesnakes across their path.
Yeah.
And now that you're married.
10 years into your marriage, a decade into your marriage, things get stale. So you just start laying rattlesnakes across paths.
I checked your browser history, and you've been looking up how much it costs for a snake.
But yes, no, I love being out in nature, catching snakes. I've seen all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm sure you guys have too.
Yeah.
It's probably just not coming to the front of your mind, but like I saw the wasp that laid its eggs in the tarantula. I have a video of that happening on one of my hikes. Is I saw the wasp, and at first I was like, "That's kind of," because when you're jogging, you're kind of out of it a little bit, and my eyes started to focus. I was like, "Oh, that's crazy!" And it was a wasp that was pulling a tarantula, and the tarantula was trying to run away, and so the wasp was going to lay its eggs in the tarantula, so its babies have something to eat. On the way out.
That's pretty cool.
I forgot about camel spiders. I've seen those.
That's like those guys that are like really attuned with.
Does
it chase you, Brooke?
Actually, so I worked with a lot of the Afghanis there.
Not at all,
and
dude.
they would like hiss at it like a snake, and they would stop in their tracks. And so we had little.
Oh, the next one.
Camel,
this is the subject of the hour. We're talking about how nature wins.
Really,
nature is metal; it always wins. You can build your sandcastle walls
like
high enough.
They would like
always comes for the towers. Let's start with
they
Jess.
would not have messed with the people from Avatar 2 at all. If all you have to do is hiss at it. All right, go ahead, Josh. What's the next topic?
The next one. This is the subject of the hour. We're talking about how nature wins. Nature is metal; it always wins. You can build your sandcastle walls high enough, but it always comes for the towers. Let's start with Jess because you got a story to tell, I believe.
Oh yeah, so it's been snowing in Utah a lot, like a lot. And then for a couple of days, it'll be nice, sunshiny, over 34 degrees, so everything's melting.
Please be pissed. Please be pissed.
I went to get my snow stuff out for the kids because it snowed again after it melted for 3 days. And I stepped in very wet, very cold carpet. My first thought was, like, please be dog piss. Like, I never wanted something to be pissed more in my life. Please be dog piss. It was not dog piss. So we ended up pulling up the carpets, and we found out that we have a crack in our foundation in our basement. And it's like in the closet, and it comes out into like the little like stair landing area, and a little bit in like another bedroom. And what sucks is because it's still snowing and it's still melting, we can't do anything because we can't dry it out enough to fix it. So until spring, we're just gonna have to basement. So we have fans going on it because we don't want mold to grow in our house. We just have fans circulating that air all hours of the day. But I have concrete floors in my
And how
bottom
does
of my
that make
house
you
right now.
feel, Jess?
Yeah.
It is what it is. You can't. I'm just. At least it's the basement floor because we have a lot of
Tell
our
the
friends.
truth. You're safe here.
A lot of our
Yeah.
friends are contractors, so
Yeah.
like we took a picture of it, and like our foundation friend was like, "That's where you want it. You want it on the floor."
We had a flood too. Not as crucial because it's in another house over down the street, and no one's currently living in that side of the house. But we had a freeze, and then no one noticed that a pipe burst because no one left the sink leaky or something. I don't know exactly what happened, but a pipe burst most likely. We had about a foot of water in the underside of the house, and it got up into all the floors. We had fans going for days. Had to rip up some kitchen, tear out some sinks and cabinets. I'm actually going to go there in about an hour to check on how bad it is, but we had to throw away a lot of crap, moldy stuff. I just hate how just nature just does whatever it wants sometimes. It's poopy.
So Josh, with that second house, you were working on that for quite some time because you were sending us pictures in our other chat. You look like sexy Tim the Toolman Taylor over there.
Oh, I don't know about that, but it was nice because the whole place was full of like ramshackle storage. So there's some trash in there. There's some items like for later storage, and then there was just like tools and boxes and stuff that just all got thrown in there. So we spent like 2-3 days getting everything out of the house, which needed to happen anyway. We ripped up a nasty carpet, found some hardwood floor, so that's cool. And the place is relatively cleared out now, so I can actually use that space. So fuck you, nature. Thanks for making me do chores. But yeah, I just gotta like scrub everything with bleach, keep the fans going, sand down some floors maybe, and then put something over the floors that have holes in them. And then I'm gonna have like a place to throw paint around. So it's a glass half full situation, I suppose. But it was a lot of work. Yeah, still more to do.
What do you think a version, Jessica? So I know you're going through like nature kind of crushing your house, but in reality, it just revealed to you that you had a crack in your foundation, right?
Yeah.
Like, nature didn't do that. That was whoever built that house. So in your guesstimation, what would your version of nature winning be? Like, what would it appear to be if nature was winning?
I can use an example for my in-laws. They live by like a few miles away from a lake.
Yeah.
They currently cannot flush their toilets or use any of their water because the water level is so high where they live that they've got like this much water in their crawl space. So that's nature winning because that is like they're gonna have to pump it. They're gonna like it is. There should not be a house there. Like that's nature being like we're gonna reclaim this part because they live in a place called Lakeshore. We're gonna reclaim this part and not be a shore anymore. It's gonna be a lake, and this is what's starting.
What about you, Brooke?
So I've seen a lot of natural disasters, I guess, or
yeah,
maybe
that was bad.
Gotten out of a lot of natural disasters. We were in Colorado when the fires started in 2020. We were in Glenwood Springs, so that was pretty rough. There's a lot of smog everywhere.
Monsoons were heavy.
And then right after we left.
Yeah, the sky turns orange.
Actually, while we were in Arizona, there were fires there too. And then monsoon season hit them harder than they've been hit in like 2 years because it was weird during COVID. They didn't get their monsoon season. So it was really bad. Lots of flooding, lots of stuff.
Wow.
And then I don't know, Josh, if you ever experienced this in Italy, but there were some earthquakes in Italy while we lived there. I just remember like waking up and things were shaking, and I've never been in an earthquake before. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, they were really, really like not anything to be worried about. It was just different. I've never experienced like the house shaking like that before. I grew up, so I'm from Illinois. And so we're in that little tornado area. And there's kind of a cool story about where I'm from. There's a town called Tiscawa. And there's a story about how there were two native brothers who realized that there were tornadoes hitting this specific spot. And I'm probably not giving justice to the story, but basically the one brother, Tis, killed his brother Wa, and therefore the land is protected from any tornadoes now. And now, like, you'll see tornadoes jump over that land. It's kind of cool. We've been blessed with not getting hit with tornadoes growing up.
I was in a serious one time. As a kid, I was at my babysitter's house, and they have a big old fat house and a gigantic oak tree, bigger than the house outside, like 20 yards from the house. And it was super tornado warning. It's coming for sure. Like, hunker down. And it did come, and you could, like, the whole ground's shaking and the house is shaking and stuff. And then it's just gone. So about 5 minutes past, we go outside. That big ass tree that was like 50, 100 years old, completely ripped out of the ground, gone. The house was fine, like 20 yards from that spot. The wildest thing ever. And there was like ice cube size hail on the ground. And it's just wild to me that whole tree just got ripped up, but the house was fine.
That's scary.
Yeah. For me, nature always wins, I guess, would be any of the, like, the massive rainfalls right now. Like, it's tragic, but United States has been going through massive, severe droughts now for what seems like a half of a decade. So we need to find a way to capture all that water, because we put ourselves in pretty bad spots with bottled water companies, soda companies. I hate to say this, beer, beer and alcohol. We're using all the fresh water we have, and soon there's not going to be any left. Like, if you look into Mexico City, a version of Nature Always Wins to me is Mexico City has some 2 inches.
I remember that video you sent.
Because they're out of water, like they have no fresh water. So they've started pulling on their aquifers underground. And what that causes is for the land to sink, because that water is helping hold up the land. So things like that, I think, are pretty prolific. I was also, Brooke, involved in a pretty big fire, the Malibu fires in, I want to say, like 2018. I have film of that burning, like, right across the street from my house. Like, the whole field where I used to hike was all on fire. I have video of the fire department going to the trails in the forest trying to put out all the fires. Are we on to our last topic of the night, Josh?
Oh, sure. Let's do our last. We have let's do it's happening. Oh, we got three to pick from. You want to do sunrise, sunset, like the best sunrises and sunsets, or we could talk about just your personal wonders of the world and nature, natural wonders, or this is just being alone in the woods. We've kind of talked about that. I don't know how you guys. Well, Jess hates it, but especially being alone in the woods, like, this sucks. So let's talk about let's lump the sunrises into the wonders, perhaps, like make them merge. And just talk about the most beautiful parts of nature, I guess. Like, your personal opinion, stuff you've seen. Pacific Coastal Highway, it's a big deal.
I'll just give one example so I can keep it moving. Alaska, going for a hike in Alaska. I think it was called, like, Three Angels or something like that, the hike. But
Rocks.
I went on a hike in Alaska with Blanco, a friend of mine, and we found these cliffs, these rocks that just extend over these cliffs, and I'm an idiot. None of you have gotten to hike with me, not even Josh yet, but I'll start climbing rock faces and things like that to see where I can get or how high I can get. And then I'll jump, like, over the rocks that are hanging over just to get to somewhere, because I want to see it, measure the consequences, right? Blanco and his brother Aaron said I was a mountain goat in my past life, like I must have been, because I just like to hop from rock to rock and climb the mountains.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, one of those
the
babies. Yes.
Air is really
I
nice.
just pin myself up against the cliff like one of them too.
We should bottle that stuff.
But
big old bag.
I got this amazing picture because I hopped all the way to the end, and I think that was one of the most beautiful things. I think that in the air, I always say, like, the air smells amazing. In the bottle.
Like, I do like going up to the mountain for camping just because it is so beautiful. Like, it's just like that picturesque, like, rolling mountains, like, just giant trees, and then, like, just sky for miles and miles, and then you'll find like little ponds and lakes, and just it's just so breathtaking. Like, I have to drive to pick up my stepdaughter. She lives about an hour a different way, south, north. I don't know what direction. I suck at that. That's why I can't be alone in the woods. Like that
That's
canyon,
pretty
it's one of
cool.
the most dangerous canyons to drive, but it is so beautiful no matter what season. Like in the winter, you get this beautiful, like snowy landscape, and like you can see like the rivers that have frozen over. In the fall, it's just like 18,000 colors, like.
Oh, they're
And then in spring, it's all pretty and green, and like you can see like the hawks flying around, and yeah, I love it. One more like favorite thing, I love lightning storms, but New Mexico lightning storms, not Utah lightning storms, because the New Mexico lightning storms, it's just like the whole sky is completely lit up, and it is like, and it's just so beautiful to like just sit and watch. Like if there's storms here, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna sleep like a baby tonight.
And I'm sure you've seen them, but in New Mexico they had the or Arizona as well, but like big ass giant cumulo clouds at night, and the whole thing lights up with the lightning all across. So you're just looking at sea. Oh, it's so cool. Yeah. But out there in Utah, there's a place called Slide Rock. Have you heard of that? Love that place. That's a natural formation, and it's just slippery rocks in a V pattern. So it's a water slide, natural made water slide. A lot of fun. You're gonna scrape something, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That happens though.
What about you, Brooke?
Thanks for reminding me of that. Yeah.
I've got 3, and I can't choose in between them. Sorry.
It's all 3.
Okay, so Lake Barchas, Italy. That's one of my favorite places on earth. It's just, if you haven't seen it, give it a Google. It's worth it. It's this like glacier mountain water that fills this valley, and it's just beautiful. That's my happy place in my head. And the drive too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the drive too was just great. Very happy place. Best. Another one is where I got married, which is the Horseshoe Bend in Page, Arizona. It's gorgeous, and it makes me feel small in all the right ways. Like I just love sitting in nature and being like, I am just a grain of sand. That's all that I am. It's really good to feel like that, and it just kind of gives me perspective. Anywho, but the best sunsets and sunrises that I've ever seen are in Arizona, hands down.
Yeah, purples and
I've
stuff.
seen the Albuquerque sunsets. They're gorgeous.
Cool.
They're beautiful. I'm not trying to say that they're not, but Arizona, there's just something about like Lost Dutchman State Park and just I don't know what it is. It's just there's so many more colors that you see that I never experienced that in the Midwest ever. So, yeah, purples and orange, wild.
Yeah, we had a really good sunset. Brooke, you can attest. Out where I used to live in the Valley of Colorado, Sugar City. And it's like population 100, and it's just nothing but flat fields. And there's a feedlot, so the air is full of feces, and that affects the sunset. And it's like 360, or I guess 180 degrees of sunset because there's nothing out there. And it's like you look over here, this quadrant, and there's one style of sunset, and it changes. The clouds formations change because you can see the whole sky for probably like 10, 20 miles. I love that idea. Very similar to maybe Montana, big sky stuff, you know. But I agree, Southwest is the best.
You know what else is the best? Interaction with the fans of the show. Where can they
What are you
interact
talking
with
about
us?
lately on the Bookish? Oh, how can they do that? Oh, you were going to ask? Okay. At Gorp Show on Twitter, I know that. That's all I know.
I'm at Brooker Loves on IG.
Brooker Loves on IG.
Bookish Nerdy Jess on TikTok and Instagram.
You can reach us all on YouTube in the comment section. Like Josh always says, leave us a comment about where you'd love us to drive the show next, and maybe we will create our own beautiful sunset with your topic. You can reach us at TheSadFan Cast on Twitter.
So cute.
And we would love to see you all back next week. Thanks so much for listening.
Don't forget that I saw a bison. Have a good night.
Bye.